EV sales are slowing now. The American automotive sector was supposed to be well on its way to phasing out internal combustion by now. Most car makers operating in the United States bet on an electric boom that would take off by the end of the decade, leading to an industry powered by batteries in the 2030s. Clearly, that's not the case, not with the Trump administration yanking the policy support rug out from underneath them. Now, car companies need to find another equally lucrative obsession to hyper-focus on, and more, it's autonomous vehicles. The EV and Transportation News Roundup you know and love will hit your inbox each morning. Musk pitches a flying car again, and Tesla's door handle fiasco expands even further. As EV sales retreat for now, automakers refocus on AVs. The industry's 2010s era foray into self-driving didn't really pay off for many automakers. General Motors-backed Cruise lit money on fire while others, like Ford's Argo AI, died in infancy. And while Tesla has steadily improved its autopilot and full self-driving features over the past decade and even launched a robotaxi service, it too hasn't achieved its biggest promises. But things seem to be changing thanks to the boom in AI and computing power. Sterling Anderson, former co-founder of self-driving startup Aurora and former head of autopilot at Tesla, joined GM earlier this year to boost its entire tech game, including autonomy. His focus was on how autonomy can make roads safer. In fact, he even called the tech the cornerstone of GM's modern portfolio, meaning that it's probably fair to bet that GM is going headfirst into spending on autonomy efforts. Here's more from the Financial Times. Car giants from General Motors and Stellantis to Volkswagen are racing to develop autonomous vehicles as they seek to compete with Tesla and other new rivals on the next frontier of growth. But analysts say the pivot towards autonomous technology will pose an inherent dilemma for traditional car makers. Margins in the ride-hailing market are notoriously thin, and scaling a robotaxi service will require heavy capital investment at a time when the automotive industry is already struggling with the higher costs of developing electric vehicles and the loss of profits in China. The car makers need to produce profit and cash, whereas the big tech giants need to produce growth. The market is not holding them to the same agenda, which gives the tech giants a much greater advantage to pursue things like robotaxis. HSBC analyst Mike Tyndall said, "Individual ownership of vehicles is also a limitation to ride-hailing. For the industry's economics to work, we'll have to give up personal ownership," he added. This is perhaps why GM decided to focus on what it calls personal autonomy, making its Super Cruise hands-free highway driving assistant better and better over time. Eventually, its plan is to add lidar to make Super Cruise eyes off as well. That may make a lot more sense than running a robotaxi service, which was a $10 billion money pit for its now shuttered Cruise division. GM isn't the only automaker that's investing in autonomy. Just last week, Stellantis pledged its allegiance to a partnership with NVIDIA, Foxconn, and Uber. Under this deal, the automaker would start joint production of its autonomous platform in 2028, the USA being the first global market with 5,000 vehicles. Volkswagen also has its own partnership with Uber in the works, via the ID. Buzz and its Moya autonomy division. We've also seen similar announcements from Hyundai, Toyota, and more recently, Lucid Motors. Source: reposted and summarized from Rob Stumpf at insideevs.